Our first Friday conversation is going to be about the weekend and some activities around this weekend, women's golf. And we're joined by two ladies. Regina Gachora is the lady captain at the Muthaiga Golf Club, and Beth Muthui is the director for consumer banking at SBM Bank. Regina and Beth, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Welcome to the hot seats of the Situation Room. How does it feel, Beth?
Feels good.
And Beth, how does it feel?
Bright and lovely.
Very good. See? Karibuni sana.
Yeah.
So we're talking about golf. And Regina, you're the lady captain at Muthaiga.
Yes,
Muthaiga.
it's the home of golf.
Lady captain at Muthaiga.
Yes.
You must be like Okoh, top level golf player. Nini.
I play this in golf.
Very good. So
Yes.
how do you become a lady captain? They elect you or do you?
No, it's a process. You need to be part of the ladies committee for at least 4 years. So it's hierarchical.
Okay.
Yes.
And how do you get into the ladies committee?
You're selected by the ladies to be part of the ladies committee.
But first you must be a member of the Muthaiga
But
Golf.
first you have to be a member.
Okay. Ndu,
Yes.
would you like to?
I wouldn't mind taking
That's where the journey starts.
That's how it starts. I mean.
Be careful, Ndu. Eric has just figured out that he can't be lady.
He can't be a lady captain. So he wants to live vicariously
Proxy.
through me.
Yes.
Okay. And Beth, thank you as well for joining us. SBM Bank, we know it. And we've seen the offices of SBM. How many branches do you have now?
So we have 30 branches across the country. We are represented in at least the major counties within Kenya.
How does a county qualify as a major county?
Well, size.
Economy.
Yeah.
Okay. Size, eh?
Yes, size.
So you must be in Marsabit.
Marsabit, no.
It's the largest.
It's the
county.
largest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turkana actually is the largest. Are you in Turkana?
We're not in Turkana.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, also size of economic activity within the county.
Population.
So that is it.
And population as well.
Yes.
Okay, very good. We'll talk a lot more about that and how this bank also then supports financial literacy across board, so people get to understand more. But first, CT will welcome you with the day's proverb. Just listen to him. He goes to an African country every week. He comes with proverbs from that country. We don't know how. Whether he mints them, he harvests them, he cuts them, he goes by broom. But he brings proverbs from that country. Now your job is to listen to the day's proverb, think about it, and give us your interpretation of it. This week he's in a country south of the Sahara, north of the Limpopo.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'd like you to take a stab at this. It is the 11th largest country in the world. It is the second largest country in Africa by landmass. Hazard a guess.
South Africa?
No, good hazard. It's not too far away.
Namibia?
Zimbabwe,
Closer.
Botswana.
Now you're moving
tiny.
away. You're doing well. You had gotten close. Just get closer.
Closer to Namibia?
So it touches Sudan, South Sudan.
Okay, let me give you a bigger hint. It has 9 neighbors. There are very few countries that have 9 neighbors, and one of the neighbors is the Atlantic Ocean. It neighbors Central African Republic, South Sudan, Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, Tanzania, Zambia, Angola.
Another hint, Patrice.
Oh, Papa Equatorial.
Not too far.
Yeah.
Not too far.
Not too far. You just come slightly lower down.
Angola?
They're known for music
It's not Angola?
that Kenyans like.
Congo.
And it's not Zaire. Congo.
Aha.
Congo.
See.
Congo.
Congo.
DRC.
DRC.
You
Finally.
learned it.
Yes. You didn't waste your time in geography class.
It was the music.
Gosh.
You did well.
You did very well.
What's the proverb?
The proverb: imitating things led the frog to have his ears cut.
Imitating things led the frog
to have
his ears cut.
Yes. Okay. His ears.
His ears.
Not his ears. Cut. No.
His ears.
Cut. Yes.
Beth, what's your interpretation of this?
That authenticity is critical. That you got to live your own truth.
Kuna leakage. Sitting next to CT, I'm thinking
I
like,
promise you, I have not looked.
Regina, what's your interpretation?
Gossip can get you in a lot of trouble.
It can also give you the juicy information.
Gossip can keep you relevant.
In the know.
Yeah, you're the source of news. You just gather gossip and spread it. Okay, let's start by talking about the golf. All right, why golf? I mean, you play a decent golf.
Yes.
When did you start playing golf and why?
My pathway to golf is not traditional. I started golf because my daughter started golf before me. So my husband had been trying to get me to play golf for 10 years, and I said no. And when my daughter started playing golf, I decided to join her. So non-traditional pathway to golf.
So why did you start? Jealous?
No, why would I be jealous of my daughter?
Daddy-daughter relation. I mean, like this one. He is taking the daughter now to golf? No way, I'm going.
She was good. She was really good, and I wanted to take her to the highest heights of golf. So I needed to understand the game. So that's why I started playing golf 6 years ago.
What sport did you actually like? Because you must have liked some sport.
I liked all sports. I was that kid in high school. If there was sports and there was a roster, I put my name on it. So I played all sports in school.
Okay.
Every single sport.
What did you have against golf?
It was my husband's game.
Say no more. Say no more.
Interesting. So you went from a place where you were asked to play it for 10 years, you didn't.
Yes.
Then your daughter plays it.
Yes.
And then you get into it.
Yes.
And you get to the place now you're starting to champion golf for women and junior girls.
Yes.
How?
Golf is addictive once you get in.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
So when you're on the outside, it doesn't look like a game that women should play. But once you get in, it's actually a very addictive sport. I think of all the sports I've played, it's the most addictive sport once you're in. Yeah.
What is it about golf that makes it addictive? I've heard this said. I know a few people who play golf and they say exactly what you're saying. What is it that makes golf addictive?
It's very social. You're able to interact with people for 5 hours. And then, of course, we have the 19th hole. And we won't say how long you spend there, but we'll just keep it at 5 hours on the golf course. But it's a very social sport.
Right.
You get to know people on a very deep level. And it is just fun to interact with people, for a long period of time. I tell people you need to have work-life balance. Golf is the life balance for most individuals. And once they get into golf, they realize that, there is something called work-life balance.
So for the longest time, golf had been played and managed and supported by men.
Yes.
Right? So recently we've seen a lot more women get involved. We've seen, and not just here in Kenya, but, even on a world scale. So what progress from what you see has been made in the sport, and we can localize it to Kenya?
So we are very privileged that we have the Kenya Ladies Golf Union, which has been in existence since 1924. So they have been the pioneers of trying to push through a lot of barriers for women to be able to play golf. And right now, the barriers have been brought down, and all women can play golf at any level. We also have the privilege of having about 45 golf clubs. I think apart from South Africa, we're the second largest country with golf clubs in the country, and they vary in types. There's Golf Park, which is our public course. There are courses all around the country, so anybody can really be a member of a golf club in Kenya. People look at Muthaiga as the pinnacle of golf, but golf is accessible to many Kenyans. And then I'm also the president of Junior Golf Foundation, so we've made golf very accessible for juniors. So for a junior to play golf, as long as they're a member, which is 1,000 shillings, they can play anywhere around the country until they're 21 for 100 shillings. So it is becoming very, very accessible for kids to start playing golf. And once they are hooked and start playing, by the age of 25, they can join a golf club. Yeah. And they can become members of these clubs. So it is a growing sport, one of the fastest growing sports in the country. And for women, it's a great opportunity for networking. It's a great opportunity for meeting ladies like Beth in terms of financial literacy. And, with the networking, it also increases your net worth. So it's a fantastic sport for women to join. So Ndu, we're waiting for you.
I'm considering this.
How expensive is it as a sport?
So once you become a member of a club, you actually play for free. Once you become a member of a club. So the expense is really hiring a caddy, which you can or cannot do, but hiring a caddy is 1,200 shillings.
For the 5 hours.
For the 5 hours.
Right.
And then you also, the cost of buying clubs, that's expensive. But once you become a member of a club,
how often do you buy clubs?
Once.
That's it.
Yes.
So it's a one-off cost.
It's a once-off cost.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a once-off cost.
What else do you buy? So there's a glove, there's a shoe. You got to wear some shorts, and there's not just any shorts. There's a golf shorts, and then there's a polo shirt that you wear. It's not just any. What else do you buy, Regina?
Okay, so a glove can last you 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think your biggest expense is going to be golf balls. Especially if you
keep losing them.
If you keep losing them. So when you start playing golf, I think that's your biggest expense.
Yeah.
But once you get better, you keep more of your golf balls, so it becomes a more reasonable sport.
Right.
So it starts harsh, but it gets better.
Okay, so Beth, for the folks at SBM, why, to put support behind anything would have taken a lot of thought, of course. Why support golf? Why put support as a financial institution behind golf?
All right, so let me start by saying that the reason why this year was of keen interest to us was because we have this competition, the lady tournament, and we have a huge thing around supporting women in business. So I'll tell you how it all ties in. So first off, is for the love of the game. I came to learn, and especially for older women, that golf is therapy. You'd be surprised when you sit with the ladies and, when they're done with the golf and the talks, the laughter, the camaraderie, it is actually pure therapy. And so for those who have not joined golf, please look at it from that perspective. But more importantly, we felt aligned with the theme that the lady captain had this year around wellness. And so it was all around wellness. So we came in from the perspective of financial wellness. There was a whole week program, very well structured. The first day we actually had a financial literacy session with the caddies. And so that doesn't happen often because they are the support system of the golf game. And we had the team from the bank come talk to them about investing, about saving, and about their future. And then subsequently to that, on Wednesday, actually it was on Tuesday, we did have a session with the lady golfers, and we were able to just introduce them to the Women Markets program that SBM has. It's a very structured program. Very early on, when we came into this market, we made sure that we were able to put in some money and investment around structuring a very meaningful women markets program that seeks to do three things and three things only, which is to educate, to empower, and protect the overall financial status of the woman. And so we found a nexus point between what it is that we stand for as a bank and what Regina was trying to drive. So we had a session, we spoke about saving, we spoke about investing, and we spoke about trading.
One would assume that women who are playing golf in Muthaiga, this is not new information that you'll be going to give them. Saving, keeping your money, investing, protecting your wealth. So what new information do you give them?
So here's the thing: you could be saving, but are you saving with the best saving product in the country? I will say, arguably, we have the best product in the markets. We recently launched the Platinum Saver account that pays 11% per annum. And so we pay interest on a monthly basis. When you compound it, we are talking north of 12%. I will challenge you to find any bank in this market that's paying 12%. Traditionally, savings accounts pay 2% and 3%. You don't even feel the interest. And so we have this product that has been taken up, by the way, 70% by women. That is proving to be fantastic. You get to save for your child's education. You get to save for your home. You get to save for whatever it is that matters the most to you. So we got talking about that, and I found quite a bit of interest coming from the ladies who were there. We also spoke about offshore investments. We are one of the few banks that are able to offer that. So SBM Bank, let me just introduce it, stands for State Bank of Mauritius. So beyond the traditional banking solutions, we have offshore solutions around wealth and wealth management. And so we actually spoke about that, and that was also of keen interest to the ladies.
What's offshore banking?
Offshore just means it's not local. So it's out there.
Money is outside.
So,
It's out there.
So I'm here in Kenya and my money is somewhere else.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's supposed to be beneficial to me.
Yes, and especially if you're dealing with different currencies and you're looking for something a little bit more sophisticated.
For example?
So, we have, we've had a product called a structured note, a dollar note that is structured, that pays a little bit higher than what your traditional savings account on the dollar side pays. So you find that if you have appetite for that and you want to be able to explore global markets, we have the solutions that are able to help you participate in those kind of solutions. So the structured dollar note helped guys who have a little bit of risk appetite, just explore different things out there through the SBM private wealth side of things. And so we have a market for that in Kenya.
Does it preclude anyone? And I ask this because here we're talking about what would, even if it was previously historically be known as very niche, that not everybody would say that, well, I'm going to be on the golf course for 5 hours on Thursday afternoon, right? It would have been assumed that there's a particular class of society that is going to be doing that. Now, that's on this side. But then here again, we're also talking about now wealth and wealth management. Does it preclude anyone?
Okay, so let me start by saying SBM serves the three business verticals that you find across all banks, which is the SME, the retail, and the corporate. We find that golf clubs represent a good proportion of the business community, and it's very structured and well organized. So when you have financial literacy sessions, and whilst you might have the leadership, it has a way of just permeating and trickling down to the rest of the community. And so you'll find leaders perhaps in the motor industry, leaders in infrastructure, leaders in so many other fields. And so when you meet them in a room and you talk about these kind of things, you find that they have a way of passing that message to the communities that they lead. It's organized, it's structured. It doesn't mean that we only engage with golf clubs, but it's a good start to be able to just get a good representation.
Or those who are already wealthy, for example.
Yes, wealth is about context.
Okay.
It's about knowledge. It's about ability to be able to interact with the right people. Wealth is a bit broad scope from where I come from. And so when we speak to the caddies, that's a whole economy on its own.
Yeah.
You have how many? 250 caddies?
250
Yes,
caddies.
you speak to the caddies, right? You speak to the management. You speak to the ladies who are playing, and not just the ladies of Muthaiga, even their guests. So you find you actually touch quite a bit of the business community within Kenya.
Tell me more about the women markets program, because you say you came into the market and you said we are putting in a lot of effort into the women markets program. What is it?
So let me say, we actually worked with IFC just to make sure that we're not just coming up with a product, a pink product. We wanted a program that was meaningful in the way that it touches the lives of women. Remember, I said it's anchored on three things: the educate pillar, right? The empowerment pillar, and the protection pillar. So what we did, we said that we're going to be able to pass on this program by collaborating with other value chain partners. So we have partners around the financial pillar, we have knowledge access partners, and we have market access partners. About 5 years ago, we became signatories of the UN Women. And so when you become a signatory of the UN Women, you have responsibilities around the community, around the workplace, and around the marketplace. And the main thing here is around financial inclusion. So what we did then, we went on and partnered, for instance, with the Africa Guarantee Fund. And this is very interesting for ladies listening in, to the point that when you go to SBM Bank and you want 10 million shillings, they say, look, we understand the challenges of having security. We only need security for 25%. They are going to take care of the 75%. Anyone in business understands how important that is. So it's a risk participation framework that enables women achieve some money to be able to do business, and so on and so forth. So I'll pause there and then just take it back to you.
Yeah, pause it. So, Regina Gachora, who is the lady captain at the Muthaiga Golf Club and president of the Junior Golf Foundation, and Beth Muthui, director consumer banking at SBM Bank. They're here talking about championing women's golf and promoting financial literacy on and off the field. Regina, there is a tournament that you're hosting this weekend as the lady captain. Tell us about it.
So this week has been Lady Captain's Week at Muthaiga Golf Club. As Beth mentioned, the first day we had a tournament for the caddies. Second day we had a fun tournament for the ladies. Wednesday we sponsored the men. Thursday we sponsored the seniors. So now is the grand finale, which is Friday, Saturday. We have a tournament which is dubbed the Lady Captain's Prize. That's when we give the grandest prizes to celebrate our ladies over the period of the whole year that I have been the lady captain.
Mm-hmm. So who plays in this tournament?
So on Friday, we usually have guests of the lady captain, sponsors, and some of the ladies, but mostly the men of Muthaiga are also invited. But on Saturday, it is the ladies' day. So it's ladies and their guests, and a few sponsors who...
Lady members. Okay.
And their guests. They usually have some of their friends that they do invite. And then the sponsors on Saturday. So Saturday is their day.
Right.
Yes.
Why this week?
We have a calendar, and my term is over on Saturday. So
Tomorrow?
Yes.
Tomorrow you are doing the Biden thing.
I'm handing over.
Okay. I see. So usually the calendar then coincides with this time of the year.
Yes, it does.
I assume this is what, the second Saturday of
The
November?
second Saturday of November is usually when the Lady Captain's Prize is held.
You haven't mentioned young women golfers this week.
Young women golfers are part of our lady golfers.
Okay.
There's no discrimination or distinction. And even in terms of the prizes, where the overall prize is a trip to Mauritius, if one of the young golfers wins it, they win it.
So the juniors will be competing with the seniors?
Yes, they will.
Oh, nice.
Yes. So
nice.
they will be competing with the seniors, and the seniors need to bring their A game because the juniors are doing fantastic golf right now.
Is your daughter still in the juniors, or she graduated?
My daughter is in Florida right now.
Okay.
So she will not be able to participate. I can assure you she's crying after she's found out what the winning prize is. But we have a lot of juniors who are going to be participating, and all of them will be gunning for the overall prize.
Beth, do you play golf?
No, Regina has been trying to get me to play golf. So this is a funny story. I would start and stop and start and stop. And every time I started golf, I found that I was expecting. And so I said, you know what? This is a message. Wait.
That's sound reason, sound logic.
It sounds logic.
So I just stopped.
You start playing golf.
Very good.
It's interesting for me because often we've seen, it doesn't really matter where you look, that sports are often used as connectors. Yes. Whether we look at people who've used sports in conflict, sports for peace, whether we see people who've used sports for business, sports sports has always been beyond just something that you can go into professionally. It has been used as a connector.
Yes.
So from where you are, and I think it's for both of you, we've talked about some of the elements of it, but do you see that really that you can use a sport where people will come together and will essentially, because we're sweating it out, you are doing the sport, but at the same time it is a connector where that there are other things that you can do as a result of the fact that you're on the pitch, on the lawns, whatever. Can you see that it can continually be used as a way to then reach some of the goals that you're talking about from a player's point of view, from a business point of view?
So from a player's point of view, I think one of the reasons why I champion golf is I tell people your networks is how you grow your wealth. And golf is one of those sports that you can walk in to the golf course as a member and you can decide that I'm just going to put my name down and I'm going to play with the CEO of a company, and I have 5 hours to talk to that person on a very social platform. So it for me is one of the reasons I championed a lot of juniors to play golf, because I believe that a junior can be able to get an internship on the golf course faster than they can do by sending 100 CVs. So it is a networking tool, a fantastic networking tool for anybody who wants to be in a sport that can grow their lives and grow their financial wealth. So my theme this year was wellness, but it's not just financial. It's also spiritual wellness. You're in the most beautiful environment for 5 hours. It's also for mental health. You can get away from the world. This year has been a bit hectic. We had floods, we had maandamano. Where do you escape? I find that for my ladies, I tell them the golf course is your second home. It's a place that you go and decompress and get away from, the challenges of the world. But more importantly is the networking and being able to meet people from different businesses and different spheres, and being able to connect and be able to build your net worth. And for that is one of the reasons I champion golf for women, because it is very hard for these women to be able to meet the key stakeholders of this country anywhere else, and have enough time to be able to sell themselves. The golf course is the best place for you to be able to do it. And if you sell yourself well, on the 19th hole, you probably can sign a deal.
Yep.
Professionally, how is the golf as a sport governed or managed in Kenya? We have all the other, we've got federations for football, for cricket, for tennis, for swimming. Is there one for golf?
Yes, there's a Kenya Golf Federation. And then under it, we have the Kenya Golf Union, which is for men. And we have the Kenya Ladies Golf Union, which administers women. And then you have the Junior Golf Foundation that takes care of anybody who is 21 years and under. So, and then we have PGK that does professional golf. So that is really how golf is governed in the country. Each organ takes care of their specific area. So for me, in terms of my second role, which is Junior Golf Foundation, my role is to grow the game of golf from the grassroots, but also to increase the number of elite players that we are playing in the country. And this year we did really well. For the boys in the All Africa Team Championships, they finished 4th. For the girls, they were 2nd in Africa. So you can probably see that I'm really championing the girl child in terms of them playing golf at a very, very high level.
Doing really well. And so in terms of, if you look at the development of elite golf in Kenya, right, and the number of players that are performing very well from junior to seniors, are we seeing more people now getting interested to play golf because they'd like to be professional?
Yes. So for us at Junior Golf, we have gone from about 1,400 members to over 3,000 members in 3 years. So you can just see that the growth is exponential. But secondly is we have tournaments from the age of 5. So we have now been able to track our best players by age. So we know the best 6-year-olds, we know the best 7-year-olds, we know the best 8-year-olds. And it's best that you start as young as possible, like in any sport. And what we're finding is that the younger we start them and the better we train them, that we can then now start competing with the rest of the world. Before, what used to happen is someone like Regina starts playing golf in her 40s. That doesn't help anybody in terms of elite golf.
She's doing it for leisure.
I'm doing it for the love of my life balance. So starting the kids young and training them up with all the systems that we have internationally, working with the RNA, which is the international body, then we are able to then grow the game of golf to a level now where we can now compete with the rest of the world.
When you say growing the game of golf, we have 47 counties. How many counties have golf courses?
About 25 counties have golf courses.
Okay, now, when you want to foster and you want to bring up younger members of our society to love the game of golf, what are some of the hindrances or some of the challenges that you've come across?
So when I see hindrance, I also have solutions. So one of the hindrances we have is equipment. So as Junior Golf Foundation, one of the things we've done with our partners is that from the money that we get, 70% of our money goes into golf development, and most of it goes to outside of Nairobi. So Kisii, Nyanza, Nandi Bears, Eldoret, Kiambu. That's where most of our resources go. So we buy equipment and we send it to the clubs in the regions. We have, over the last 3 years, trained 100 coaches, most of them coming from the caddy ranks. And then we have also shipped balls to, we told you the most expensive thing is the golf balls. We've also shipped balls to those regions. So what we do in the regions is that we do training for free, twice a week in the regions. We have given them the equipment to be able to use, and we've given the golf balls, and we set up the tournaments there. And the reason why we want to do that is because we realized that golf was a Nairobi-Mombasa sport. And it was really not growing from a junior level in the region. So we dispatch almost 70% of our budgets to the regions, give free training, equipment, and balls. And so we have a lot of kids in all these counties outside of Nairobi that are getting free training.
How do you encourage the sport of golf in schools? Because that's where young people are.
So we were working with the government to try and make golf one of the sports, PE sports. And once we're able to do that, then we'll be able to penetrate the schools. So that is a work in progress, as everything else that we do. When it comes to working with the government, it's a bit slow, but we will get there. Where we will gazette golf as a sport, a PE
sport
sport
in school.
a sport in school.
What would it take to have golf being played in Kimana Primary School? We need a field, we need to grow the grass, we need to cut the grass, we need to do all those things.
You just need a football field. That's it.
Without turf on it.
You don't need turf. You just need a football field.
And then
we will teach the kids how to play golf. Because for most kids, a football field is you can hit balls in a football field. You can create an area where you can make it a putting green, and you can create a bunker. It's just putting sand in the side, and that is the starting blocks for learning how to play golf. Okay. And once they get better, then we then connect them to a golf course where they can then learn how to play on a golf course. But the building blocks is a football field.
They know how to score.
So, Beth, I mean, just looking at some of the connectors that we talked about previously, now from an institutional point of view, to be able to say that as a result of seeing that sports has come in, a sport like golf has come in, can you see that how it has helped to boost some of the elements that you talk about in terms of connecting with wealth growing, wealth management, investment, things like that?
Yeah, so let me start by saying that women, just because of the duties that they have off and on work, find it very difficult to network, right? A typical married lady will not probably have the luxury of going to a restaurant after work and so on and so forth. And I'm going to tie it into something that I read yesterday. There's a certain financial advisor by the name of Suze Oman, who says that the key to money is to stay invested. So how do you stay invested? It's the choices that you make and the intentionality of those choices. Where do I network? Who do I network with? What kind of knowledge am I bringing to myself through reading and through interacting? I could not think of a better place of a woman of intention who is looking to build on self than being part of a club that espouses the things that they wish to achieve. So it's a long and short answer, but I find that women who belong to organized groups, it could be a golf club, it could be, a bridge club, whatever kind of club, they create those networks that end up benefiting them to be able to grow by way of knowledge, by way of networks, and by way of self.
How can we disabuse ourselves of the notion that we're encouraging folks to take up the sport of golf so that they can get on the green in order to connect for business purely?
So as I mentioned before, it's not just financial wellness. It's also mental wellness. You can I actually encourage a lot of women to go to the golf course and just discover themselves. How many spaces do you have where you can just be in silence for a couple of hours? Not very many. And sometimes your best ideas come when you're in silence. And the world is a bit noisy out there. So we are saying that, yes, there's the advantage of financial wellness, but there's also the spiritual wellness. There's also the mental, the time to just take yourself out of the world and just be in a space where you can, decompress, get a lot of things out of your chest before maybe you go home. Because the world's a bit tough right now. So I find that, 5 hours of golf is a very, very therapeutic for a lot of ladies. But as she said, once women and even men get together, a lot of big things happen. You're not just going to go and for 5 hours and say, here is my business plan. It's not going to happen. No. It's not going to happen. It's not going to be day one either. But it is about building friendships with the right people so that when you do need to put your business plan on the table, they have 5 minutes for you, or they have 10 minutes for you, or they'll take your call. So that's what it is. So I'm not encouraging anybody to go with their business plan and try and hit the ball. You're going to lose a lot of balls. And you're probably not going to get a lot of business out of it. But it's that connection, it's long-term connections that then help you build wealth.
I've had this said very many times that, this is a place where you go in and you make those connections. You can make very many business deals are made on the golf course. But then that means that everybody who's there knows that this is a likely thing that's going to come out of this. Doesn't that make you put your guard up? Like every time you're seeing a stranger coming to you, like, all right, so this guy, this person is long gaming me.
No.
They're introducing themselves. Maybe there's a long game behind them. Are they genuinely actually coming so that we can play golf together, or are they looking for an in route? So you just have your guard up all the time with every new stranger who comes to you.
So as I said, it's the long game.
See?
You just said it. It's the long game. And what happens when you get to know a person for a long time? You actually become friends. And friends do business with friends.
So
They actually do business with friends. You think about someone who, you've met at the same bar for the last 2 years. If he comes to you and asks you after 2 years, hey, by the way, I have this business plan. Can you help me?
Listen.
You'll listen.
Yeah.
You'll listen. So it's a long game, but it's a great long game, and it's also a connector. I found, for example, I will go to some of my friends that I play with, and I'll be like, I'm looking for this kind of person. I'm trying to look for this kind of product. Where can I find it? And in the golfing networks, you will be connected with the right person. And that right person is going to listen to you because of their friendship with the person who connected you. So it's networks. It's being in the right place to be networked with those people who can then take you to the next level.
Very well said.
About it, the uniqueness of how the game is structured also, it actually is unique. Because here you are a bunch of people clobbering this small white ball. Each of you taking turn to clobber their own little white ball, and then you all walk together to another spot where you clobber it once again. And you're clobbering it around and walking and talking. It's actually very unique.
For many hours.
Yes, and even when there's a tournament, when you're clobbering, there are people cheering you on to clobber it even harder and faster and further. So it's actually very unique. And then after that, you gather and sit and discuss about how well you clobbered this particular ball. So it's... No, it is a unique sport. I have been invited once to
clobber.
No, to a tournament. Look, I am going to choose a bigger ball that I can see. And I know if I intend to kick it, I will kick it. Not a ball where I am likely to miss it. I swing, miss. I swing again, miss. Now that I'll leave it to other people.
One of the things that people actually say when you're watching someone and you're wondering, how did you miss that? Right? Regina, I'm sure the first time you played, you were like, how many times did you actually swing past the ball?
You can swing and the club leaves your hands and then it heads somewhere else.
What is it?
As I said, the biggest investment in the beginning is the ball. Because you either miss it or you send it to the wrong place. And for some reason, it loves water. So it's a tough game. It's a humbling game. I think it has humbled many people. I think it has humbled many CEOs too.
Come there with egos.
With the biggest, it really humbles a lot of people. And but it is extremely enjoyable. With the clobbering is quite enjoyable. And we always say that golf has a way of bringing you back. So you shall hack for 17 holes, but one hole will be perfect.
And that's the one.
And that's the only thing you will remember
That's
on the
the
19th
one that
hole.
pulls you back in.
And it's the one that will bring you back the next day and the next day and the next day. Another one thing I absolutely love about golf is also it keeps people moving. Health. We had our seniors tournament. We had some people there who are 80, 90 years old. And I tell people, if you want to stay away from disease, keep walking. Keep walking, keep moving. And golf is one of those sports that keeps you walking
Literally.
and keeps you moving. Whatever the ball does, that's a different story. But it'll keep
But at
you
least
walking
and
and
you'll
it'll
move.
keep moving.
Thank you very much for joining us, ladies. Asante sana. Someone has actually sent me something. David says, this is for you, Beth, as you think about your next time out in the golf field. Hole 1 to hole 5, I didn't get to warm up. Hole 6 to 15, I hate this game. Hole 17, I'm never playing again. Hole 18, that's the one. And then hole 19, did you see my hole 18? And the total score, see you tomorrow, same time. That's it. Regina Gachora, Lady Captain, Muthaiga Golf Club and President of the Junior Golf Foundation, and Beth Muthui, who's the Director of Consumer Banking at SBM Bank. They've been our guests talking about championing women's golf, at the same time promoting financial literacy on and off the course. Talk to SBM Bank. How do we reach out to if we want to get more information about, for example, this smart saving meeting, smarter investment, 11% going on 12?
11% on the shilling, 4% on the dollar.
Right.
So our website has all our contacts. You can reach us anytime. We are available on WhatsApp. We have our contact center numbers, and we have a whole host of other numbers on the website. So we welcome you to SBM for a smarter, better tomorrow.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.